Hey, this is Anna Runyon from ClassyCareerGirl.com, and today in my networking challenge, I'm speaking with Kristen Chavone. Kristen is the author of the ebook Career Chic for Young Professionals, and I'm really excited to give away one of her ebooks on the blog today and also to speak with her. So thanks so much, Kristen, for being here.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
You bet. So I want to get started with one of the most common questions I get about interviews, and that's what do I wear to an interview?
Well, this is a tough one because a lot of offices are different. So what I always like to say for ladies is if you are in an industry where it's not official that you wear a suit, there are those industries, like, for example, being in a courtroom, you probably need to wear a suit. But if you're not in one of those industries, I always say a suiting dress, a nice fitting, short or long sleeved, knee length sheath dress, basically. So a thicker fabric, not a jersey because that gets a little too clingy. Make sure your knee length, closed-toed shoes. I think that's always a safe bet.
Okay. And do you recommend like a blazer or something over it, or?
Yeah, sometimes. I always say go on the company's website and look at the people who work there, or get a sense of, with the About Us and things like that, whether it's a traditional office environment. If that's the case, you may want to consider the suit or the dress with the blazer over it. But if it's, let's say you're interviewing at a PR firm in New York City or something like that, it's going to be a younger, hipper environment. And so as long as you go with a classy dress with a little bit of a younger touch to it, then that will work well.
Okay, and what's your rule for like how short the dress can be, or do you have a rule for that?
I always say absolutely knee length.
Okay.
I have a friend who is 5'11", and she manages to have mostly knee length dresses, so I think that should be fine for everyone. So.
And one I got the other day is, can you wear bare arms like I'm wearing right now to an interview?
I'm wearing bare arms too, and I was like, should I be doing this?
It's hot. It's summer.
It's summer. It's very hot. I always say that if you're doing the bare arm thing, like mine has a high neck right now, and so I always say, like, make sure that the rest of you is very covered if your arms are bare, and make sure that, your shoulders are mostly covered. But no sleeves, I think, is fine in most office environments, and you can get a sense of that after you've been working there. If it's an interview situation, if you're pretty sure that you can do it, then it's fine. But if you're not sure, you err on the side of caution usually.
Yeah, that's what I love to say too. Always err on the safe side because you never really know.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some like outfit basics that you recommend for women for work?
Well, I think everybody's outfit basics are sort of are different. I define a basic as, first of all, something that you're going to wear often. If you're wearing it 2 days in a row, you're not going to feel weird about it. Nobody's going to notice. So it's that classic piece. And it's also a piece that is not going to go out of style. That's, if you want to pull it out in 2 years, you can. So that's things like blazers and pencil skirts and, blouses in neutral colors. My basics, for example, you always say, the black pencil skirt is something everybody should have. In the summer, I like a navy pencil skirt. I wear more navy and white usually. So that way you can kind of find your personal style and see what are sort of your basics. But I think, the classic business pieces, the pencil skirt, the pair of trousers, the, solid colored button-down blouse, the good bag, always a nude pair of pumps. I always say buy flesh-colored pumps before you buy black because they go with more things. I wear mine probably twice a week.
That's a good idea.
So things like that I would say are considered, your basics. Maybe a dark pair of jeans if you are in, like a startup environment or a tech environment, something like that.
And what about color? Like, is there like a rule for how much color is too much, or do you recommend?
I think that really depends on your office environment. Color is so important in fashion right now, and so if you can get away with it, I love to see. For example, right now I'm collecting basically pencil skirts and shirts in all different colors, and you can just pair them together right now because that's the fashion landscape that we're in, so it makes dressing pretty easy. If you are in a very conservative office environment, I have another friend actually who just got a job in a courtroom, and instead of a white blouse the other day, she bought like a blush color, sort of peach, very, very light peach / pale pink, which is a great choice because it can serve as a white basically, but it has a little bit more character. she's a redhead, it's going to look great on her. So like things like that, I think are good for people who work in very conservative environments. Try some different neutrals, maybe a light mint color, a light blush color, because those aren't too loud, but are still, you know, a way to wear the trends and the colors that are in right now.
Okay. So these are all great ideas. So how do you recommend like shopping for these essentials?
Well, for the essentials, I always say, you know, if it's one of those things where you're going to wear it every week, like I said, I wear my new pumps twice a week. And so I paid probably like $90 for those, which is more than I pay for most of my shoes. So I always say when you find that perfect thing, if you can make it, if it works within your budget, don't feel bad about spending the money on those very basic pieces that you're going to wear all the time, because you're going to get your money's worth and they're going to be higher quality. You won't have to replace them as much. But then for your other stuff, I think, you know, learn what brands work on you and look for sales. I mean, some of the really, really nice brands have sales all the time. And so you can really get a lot of nice clothes for not a lot of money. I like that better than, you know, I go to Target as much as I can. And like, I love, you know, cheaper brands like that. I love a trend, you know, from a Target. Like if I want a neon belt, I'll buy it for $10. Mm-hmm. But I really like to find high quality things on sale.
That's a good idea. So do you recommend shopping online or going to the store?
Well, in a business environment, fit is really important. Mm-hmm. So when you're first starting out, I would say make sure you go to a store and really learn what brands work on your body, because, you know, we all know of that person in our office or that person we interviewed or whatever who was wearing ill-fitting clothes, and it affected, you know, your perception of that person. And so that's really a key ingredient to looking professional, is making sure that everything fits you properly, is not too tight, is not falling off, right. Things like that. So I think once you get a handle on that, by all means, go ahead and go online, because you have more size options, more sale options, things like that. But really make sure that you spend the time in store first to learn sort of what brands work, what styles of clothing works, things like that.
Okay. So someone in like a business formal environment, what would you recommend? What are some like outfit ideas you might have?
Business formal, well, I would say you start and you buy yourself a suit, and then you think about what other things you can mix and match with that suit. So let's say you get a khaki pantsuit, long sleeve, classic blazer, khaki trousers. Can you wear in that office environment maybe some colorful trousers with your khaki blazer instead of the khaki ones? Or can you maybe wear, you know, the khaki trousers with a cardigan and a button-up shirt, things like that. So I always say build your wardrobe in style and color rather than, because you're going to be wearing all the same types of clothes. So it's a blazer, pants, skirt, dress. So I always say look for different shapes also. If you need to be wearing trousers, maybe you get a cropped pair with pleats that are looser on the top or something like that. Have a shirt tucked into them. You know, if it's a jacket, maybe you get a boxy jacket instead of a classic collared blazer. Things like that.
I love the idea of just like mixing and matching, because it like makes your wardrobe, you have so much more options, you know, if you have things that go together.
I don't think, you know, when they're shopping for a suit, they're like, oh, this is so expensive, but it's 4 outfits.
Right. Definitely. You can put things together.
Yeah.
So what about like a business casual environment? What would you recommend for that?
Business casual is often sort of the hardest for people, I think, because there are a lot of business casual environments where you can maybe wear that pair of dark skinny jeans on a Friday. And so the range of things that you can wear is very wide. And so I always say, again, pencil skirts and shirts are always great. Business casual is usually an instance where you can do, you know, if it's a not a fitted dress, if it's looser, you can maybe get away with having it a little bit above knee length. So like a tunic dress with flats, something like that. So you can add that in occasionally. But I think I work in a business casual environment, and I usually stick with like a pencil skirt and a fun shirt. Or today I'm wearing red cigarette pants, which is my favorite pair of pants. But that's not a basic, everyone. You cannot wear that every day. It's when you're pants. So yeah, so I think for business casual, really make sure that I always say dress like the person whose job you want. So if they are not wearing jeans to the office, then don't you wear jeans to the office.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think just because they say it's business casual doesn't mean you have to go in jeans. You can still dress up and look nice too, and professional.
Because that's, the thing with some offices too. Some people say they feel out of place when they dress up. Well, don't, because,
Yeah.
Great when you dress. Everybody looks great when they dress, when they put effort into their appearance. So even if people are running around in shorts and a t-shirt, that doesn't mean that you have to or you should.
Right.
So.
Awesome. So I get this question a lot too about makeup. Like, what do you recommend for how much is too much or too little makeup for work?
Well, I do think that you should wear some makeup, because I think that makeup is just another one of those things where it looks like you put effort into your appearance. That said, I think, a lot of people make the mistake of not wearing colors that are natural on their face. So I say at minimum, I like to see just foundation, eyeliner on the top lash, mascara, blush, and a little bit of gloss. And all those colors should be colors that, work with your complexion. Brown or black liner and mascara, a pink or a flesh-colored blush, not a hot pink, but, like a very light pink if you're peach complected. I always say when you're shopping for makeup, if you haven't done it ever, look for colors that are like nude, flesh, like nude glow, things like that. They're always named for, and those are the safe colors to wear. Same with eyeshadow. If you're doing that, I think I wear eyeshadow every day to work. Right now I have like a kind of dark brown on, and then like a pinkish blush and just a sort of a neutral colored lip gloss. But I do think it's important to wear some. And also for foundation, I always recommend getting that in a department store, because then you can take home a sample and make sure that it doesn't make you break out, it doesn't get cakey or look too makeup-y, because that's distracting when people are looking at your face in a business situation. So.
Well, those are great ideas. I love them. So this question I ask at the end of all my interviews: what is one thing you wish you would have known as a young professional woman just starting out in her career?
Well, I'm going to give you I'll give you a style answer and then a non-style answer. Okay. So the style one is, I wish I had known how quickly I was going to wear out my shoes, and I wish I had found a cobbler sooner, because you're just wearing, you're wearing your heels every day, and I live in Chicago, and so you're walking around in them all the time. And I was pitching shoes left and right, and because I was wearing the heels down, until I finally, found a cobbler and was like, oh, look, you can fix these, and you don't have to pay, for a whole other pair of shoes. So that's my first one. And then, my non-fashion thing that I wish I had known is how important good insurance and a retirement plan and all that stuff is in a job offer, because I had never had experience with that. And now that I have pretty good, pretty good benefits, I've learned how important those things are to look for. Even if they're not as common in the work environment these days, I still think, it's important when an employer in a job offer says, hey, you have these things too. So
definitely something to look for when you get that offer and ask questions about.
Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. So where can people find out more about you and your ebook?
They can go to simplestyleguide.com. That's where you can get information on the ebook. You can I write a weekly column, not always about professional work attire, but that's sort of how it turns out usually, because I am dressing for an office Monday through Friday. And you can also, through that website, you can contact me on Twitter and follow me on Pinterest and things like that. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kristen. This was fun.
Thank you. It was wonderful, and you have a good day.
You too. This is Anna Runyon from ClassyCareerGirl.com.